Every single time I had a problem, it was like, there must be more to life than this.
What we've learned thus far is nearly beyond imagination.
We have a responsibility to do what's right rather than just what is the law. What's morally right is more important.
When I was older, I would like to see the bees buzzing through the flowers and hear the birds singing in the trees. But I'm scared. I'm scared that this is all a dream and that I'm living in a planet that is dying.
At this moment in my life, I would actually be very happy to just stop.
Go with her! Fucking go, bro!
Delays. We've got quarterly targets to hit.
Our way out of it individually. We can only do that collectively.
Hi everybody. My name is Sam. I'm the CEO of Waterbear. I hope you enjoyed that couple of minutes. Hello Bristol. It's so good to be back after 10 years since I was a young biology student in this city. And we're really happy to be here. So welcome to Waterbear. Can I get a quick show of hands? Who's heard of Waterbear? That always makes me really scared at the same time as smile, but thank you. So imagine if we could transform documentaries into popcorn-worthy entertainment. Turn people from passive viewers into active doers, make people go from doomerism to do-moreism, turn partners into planet partners, filmmakers into change makers, and ultimately go from collecting awards to measuring actual impact. Now, I'm in a pitch competition, so you can forget the awards bit. We spent the last 3 months digging into why we do what we do, and there's a clear problem in the world that we really, really need to solve. 85% of people want to do more. I'm sure everyone in this room wants to be part of a solution, a movement, or is already, but everyone wants to do a bit more. But 16% feel like they know what they do, know what to do, or how to do it. So welcome to Waterbear. The press called us the Netflix for nature. We quite like that, but we actually think there's a lot more to our story. And really, at the end of the day, we're trying to turn inspiration into action. Stepping back, the media industry is challenged. We have issues that we need to solve. Everyone in this room has a responsibility to play a role in that, but we need to define a new category. A category called impact media, that's impact-led, that has metrics that matter, where measurement is core to our DNA, and we tell stories from a place of authentic authorship, because right now, things are not quite working. We need a new paradigm for the modern media industry. With fake news, social media, there's toxicity rife on all our channels. We need to redefine the system. But how do we make that work commercially? At the end of the day, we're a streaming platform that's free and ad-free, where you can watch incredible stories and take an action. But behind that, there is a media group that's growing and scaling. On the left-hand side, you can see that we're growing our studio between the US, here, and Amsterdam, and that will fund incredible stories with our brand partners. We'll tell original programs, and we'll also produce co-productions with a range of incredible organizations, filmmakers, and broadcasters. We're also growing our network of FAST channels, which are free ad-supported streaming platforms, and we're also launching our learning SaaS product, where we can turn films into engagement tools for high-performance teams and also schools and universities. But at the end of the day, I've said that a lot, the mothership is really where we drive action and impact, and that is the key thing we'd like to take you guys to take away from this session. We need to take our community to the next level. We're only 3. We haven't slept a lot. It's been an amazing few years. We registered as a B Corp, and we scored 126.6 in our first ever assessment. We've doubled the business every year, and actually we have over 1,000 films on the platform from an incredible range of filmmakers, storytellers, and creatives. We have a community of 700,000 members, and actually a total audience of close to 3 million. That comprises our social community, our platform, and our mothership. And in a few months' time, we're going to be launching and relaunching, actually, at the Sundance Film Festival in January of 2024. You can see some of our amazing partners on screen. We thank you all for your service and for your commitment to this change and to this movement that we're trying to create. And please do keep doing what you're doing, which is telling incredible stories. Why are we here? We're raising our Series A. It's been a labor of love, and shout out to all the founders and CEOs in the audience. I can proudly and humbly say we actually have the full round committed. We're raising 10 million, but our lead investor and I have agreed that we can actually raise strategic co-investment, and they will make up the difference. So if you are interested in investing in a new category in media, redefining a system, and building a movement together, please come and find us afterwards. And we have already, thanks to the Wavelength team and thanks to Seeders, earmarked our crowdfund for Q1 next year, and we'll be earmarking a portion of that 10 million for our community of filmmakers and change makers. Just finally, we need collective agency. It's not enough to do things alone in your own silo. We love that people are passionate, they nerd out on incredible things around the world, but together we can do so much more. And storytelling enables agency within, and technology enables the practical tools to take an action and be part of a movement and feel and grow that social power. Please look to the person next to you and think about the stuff that you can do together, and think about the stories the world needs to hear. Be part of a good story. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very inspiring. Can I just ask you about your filmmakers and within the communities you work with or you're showcasing? Do you actually use people from within the communities to help you make the films and sort of upskill them to then carry on communicating to the outside world? Or, yeah, that's the question.
Great question. We set out a few years ago to try and tell stories from a different perspective. So we never wanted to build a production company. What we do is we send an RFP out to a network of thousands of creatives and storytellers and production companies and studios all around the world. It's been a work in progress, a labor of love to get to this point, but what we try to do then is match those filmmakers with the money. So the brands, the foundations, us, if it's an original, to actually bring those stories to the big screen and distribute those stories across our platforms. What we always try to do is work with filmmakers to answer the question on the ground in the country that we're telling stories from. We're trying to break that old paradigm of flying in somewhere, documenting, and buggering off back home. And that's really the key thing to how we tell stories here.
Thank you.
Quite a comparable to be compared to Netflix regularly.
Yes.
But from your perspective, that can also be quite a weight on the fundraise journey. So what do you double down on to differentiate yourself or talk about your USPs when put against such a comparable company?
Thanks, John. Yeah, when I saw that Netflix for Nature first headline when we got it, I thought, that's quite nice, but also, oh dear. We have a fundamentally different value proposition. Netflix is about lean back, high volume, expensive content. They want to own all the rights and they want to distribute that content to the world. And they have hundreds of millions of subscribers and they've done a great job. We always wanted to not be compared to a streamer. We're an interactive mobile and digital community. And really that interactive piece of being able to go one step further, take an action, connect with like-minded individuals, that's really why we're raising the round now, to build out that tech and to build out that product that will enable that social and community interaction and that real call to action that we want to embed into the content. So it's a fundamentally different use case, it's a fundamentally different value proposition, which is why we deem it to be a kind of unique niche that we can exploit.
Lovely, thank you, Sam. So the movement that you're creating, what's your ambition for that? What would good look like?
A fundamentally different system. I think the theory of change that we try to embody is quite a traditional engagement-based theory of change. So really trying to get scale where we can then throw that community into some of the most critical causes and issues and policy work that we really care about as a community and as a company. We are working through now with building a kind of citizens mini assembly with our actual member base to actually really figure out the exact areas we want to focus on from an impact perspective over the coming years. I mean, there's some pretty big ones and obvious ones that we need to tackle first, from fossil fuels through to rewilding and conservation and nature-based solutions. So we're really defining that with our community to make sure that we can harness the power of scale and throw that into the real policy and system shifts that we want to create.
Sam, brilliant pitch. Can you tell us a bit about the target audience for Waterbear, sort of where it's at right now and who you think the audience, I guess your primary and secondary target audience?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have really two audiences that have emerged over the last 3 years. There's a slightly older skewing documentary lover. I'm sure there's a few of them in the room. And we love that audience because they are super passionate about what they do and they come with a real momentum to actually engage deeply with that content. The secondary audience, and the one we're really kind of starting to shape more of a strategy now to really get more of, is what we kind of call an aspiring change maker. So someone who is aware of some of the issues, is wanting to do more, and wanting to kind of further their journey to impact. And that's obviously skewing a little bit younger, and of course is already a little bit active in the movement, but as I say, wanting to kind of deepen that relationship with the work that they do.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It feels, you talked about Netherlands, US, UK, very global in nature already. Was that intentional, or was that more of just the community that was taking it in organically?
It was intentional, and then we listened as well. So our kind of origin story starts with our founder. Guys, sorry to just call you up on one thing. I'm not actually the founder. Ellen Vindermoot, who was the executive producer of My Octopus Teacher, was the founder, and I'm the CEO. But we actually started our journey in Amsterdam, where Ellen has worked for a long, long time. But what we are now quickly learning is obviously we need to go a little bit further afield. And our first strategy was to target English-speaking world. So we obviously used the hubs of London and the US to do that. We also had a bit of a journey when it comes to investment, which was incredibly exciting. And we've raised some incredible money now from the US. So it was a little bit of a balance. But the future strategy of the company is really to go language localized and get much further afield than English-speaking world.
Amazing.
Thank you.